Hello, I'm Rohan. I'm co-founder of Palette. Welcome to the very first demo video of Palette. So this will be a long form content, so bear with me. I'll fast forward during the generation within Palette as necessary. Okay, so I had this idea recently that we could build a product that is Airbnb for cars. So basically, as we all have our cars which we don't use all the time, so if you could lend those cars to the users nearby, or if the users want to go for a trip or a outing, they can look for cars around and book a car for a certain duration of time, right? So what most of us would do is basically with vibe coding to directly jump onto generating UI with this vague idea that we have. But what I'll try to do is introduce you to Palette and see how Palette can help us identify new use cases, identify user pain points, and help us think a little bit more before we jump onto UI screens, right? So let's jump onto Palette and let's try to type in this prompt, right? Okay, so we are within Palette. I have added this demo project here, and I'll add Airbnb for cars. Let's create. Okay, so this is the prompt screen for Palette, and let's type in whatever vague idea that we have. I want to build an app which is like Airbnb for cars. Uh, Car owners can lend their cars to the users, or users if they want to go out on a trip in a self drive cars, they should be able to find the car listing prices and choose car of their liking for the trip. Okay, so we are targeting this for metro cities in India. So let's just put that in the prompt as well. The customer, the user are majorly based out of metro cities in India. Uh, what else should we add? Uh, App should show a map view, maybe, of nearby available cars, available cars, AVEILE, available cars. Oh, users will have to go and pick their cars by themselves, so that there is a bit of owner interaction, and if owner wants to get the identification and advance money, that should be money should be handled by the app. Yes, all the transaction should be handled by the app. Let's say all the transaction and documentation and verification should be handled by the app. Mm, There should be review and rating aspect for both both users and owners and owners and cards in the app. All right. So we are good with this prompt, and let's go and continue. Okay. So what do we want, right? So we want to get a head start. I don't have access to the users right now because I'm sitting in my studio. But still, I want to have some idea of what I would want to do with this particular project tomorrow. So let's just go ahead and select all the artifacts for now. As you see, when you select task flows, right, all the artifacts which are relevant to those task flows get selected because user personas, insights, key features, and task flow all are interconnected artifacts. And once you select one of the higher level artifact, all the above artifacts are automatically selected. And interview questionnaire, it's not dependent directly on task flows. It depends on personas, so you can select it separately. Okay, let's start building. Okay, so palette takes about 3 minutes to analyze your prompt, understand the domain that you're trying to work with, understand the demographics of your users, and do a rough market research, look into the competitors, who are the players in the market, and try to generate a good overview of what the product you're trying to build. So let palette give some time to think, to process, and then it'll come back with an output. So as you see here on the left hand side for palette, there we have given some hints regarding what framework you should use, how can you write prompt clearer. There are some tips around and tips around using palette, which is like keeps changing with the time, and maybe it could be helpful for us builders to learn from it and just build better products. Here we have a notification icon. So if you want to grab a coffee, and Palette will notify you once the output is ready. Okay, so here we have the output from Palette. As we see that this gives you an overview of what your product would look like and what next steps basically you should take while thinking about building your product. So first is it shows you your project brief. So basically it's a prompt that you entered at the start. And these are all the artifacts that we had selected like before generating the output, right? So the first step is basically review all the UX artifacts tab for your project. So we'll do that in a minute. Let's scroll down and see what else is there. Competitors to study. So who are our competitors? Okay, let's go. Drives is basically a self-car drive car rental. I don't know why it is not loading, but yeah, it should load. And second competitor is basically Rev. So Rev is again the car rental, right? So this is similar to what product that we are trying to build. And next is like top three UX insights. Need for transparent pricing. Okay. User express frustration over unclear pricing structure in traditional car rental services, leading them to seek alternatives that offer transparent costs. That's fair. Trust through mutual rating. Car owner hesitate to lend their vehicles due to constraint about the renter's reliability, emphasizing the need for mutual rating system. That's fair. Streamlining documentation. All these points we had added, and it clearly mapped them as your top three UX insights. The other thing is basically your user personas. So first is Ravi Sharma, who's an IT consultant. I want hassle-free way to find a car for my weekend trips, which without breaking the bank. That's true. Then Neha Verma is a marketing manager. I want to lend my car easily and securely without worrying about the damages or bad renters. And third is like an inspector. That's a tertiary persona. We don't have to worry a lot about that at this moment. Then we see that there are like some tags: transparency, affordability, trust, yes, security, efficiency, and simplicity are like the most highlighted tags here. Next is color palette. So basically we can choose from what color palette we want for our product. Let's go with some orange color. uh, okay, and we can contrast it with let's say black color. Yeah, let's do this. Orange, black, and white. Perfect. Uh, Pure black. Mm, it can work. Yeah. Key features to consider are listed here, and then the notes that you can type in. Try Pilot now. Let's go. And there are some reference link based on which all this information is basically gathered, right? So all the market research and all these things, blogs, etc., would exist here. Uh, okay, so let's review all the UX artifacts one by one. Let's go to user personas first. Okay, so first user persona is Ravi Sharma, who's 28 male in Mumbai. As we mentioned in the prompt that we are looking for metro cities in India, so it correctly mapped Mumbai here. So his bio is basically he's tech savvy professional who enjoys weekend getaways and road trips with friends. He often finds himself frustrated with the traditional car rental services and their pricing structure. Searching for affordable and reliable option for is crucial for him. Hence, he prefer using tech solution that simplifies this process. To easily find nearby cars for rent that fits my budget, to save travel costs, to help smooth pickup process that doesn't waste my time on weekend, to secure reliable and well reviewed vehicle, to ensure pleasant journey, right? To manage payments and documentation digitally to avoid paperwork. Okay, difficulty in finding affordable and trustworthy cars, lengthy processes. Okay, that's fair. What are the relevant UX KPIs that you as a builder should also focus? User satisfaction score should be at least 85% on ease of finding cars. Time taken for car pickup should not exceed 15 minutes on average. Okay. Percentage of successful booking without cancellation should be 90% and user retention rate at least 70%. Okay. Here the personality of this particular user is also mentioned. Then next is Neha Verma. She's a busy marketing manager who often travels for work, occasionally utilizes her car for family outings. She wants to make most out of her vehicle by renting it out when it's idle. Neha seeks a platform that provides clear safety protocols and aligns with her busy lifestyle to ensure everything goes smoothly. To generate additional income when car is not in use, to ensure secure rental process with clear documentation, to read renter review to feel confident about lending my vehicle. That's very important point, and it's listed in the goals. To easily manage and track the booking from my own dashboard. Pain points concern about my potential damage to my car from renters. That's a legitimate pain point which is clearly identified. Complicated documentation process leading to confusion, difficulty in finding trustworthy renters. Okay, and I mentioned this third persona is basically a regulatory officer, and we don't need to look into it right now. And we can see all these personas are from Mumbai, Bangalore, India. So if we want to edit or add any goals, we can do it right away from here. Let's say let's add some image for Ravi. Do I have any image? Let's see. Okay, perfect. I have an image for Ravi. This helps me relate to this persona even better, having the image, so I can add image of my choice which is relevant to the users I think are relevant to me as a builder. And let's also add Neha Verma. Okay, I have an image here. Awesome. Let's go. The next artifact that we had selected is interview questionnaire. So basically this lists down all the, if you want to go and conduct your primary research with real life users, you can use this questionnaires to basically conduct those structured interviews. You can add in your own questions as well, and basically rearrange these questions according to your to your liking. So this is for urban professional and both car owners and also regulatory officers. And if you want to add your own questionnaire, you can do it from here. The next is insights. So as we saw, these were the top three insights, and if you go into the details for insight, it shows you more details so that you can understand what the actual needs of your users are. Ravi desires for hassle-free, budget-friendly car rental experience reflects a broader need for transparency in pricing that elevates anxiety around unexpected costs and promotes financial confidence. So, what's the user behavior behind this particular insight? So, user express frustration over unclear pricing structure in traditional car renting service, leading them to seek alternatives that offer transparent costs. Okay, trust through mutual rating, streamlining documentation, Fear of limited availability. Ravi's concern about cars availability reflects a broader anxiety that urban professionals face, emphasizing importance of real-time accessibility. Okay. Assurance of vehicle quality. Anya's appreciation about vehicle quality highlights the need for assurance mechanism where the app that promote confidence in the car being rented, addressing both safety concern and desire for positive experience. Okay. Feedback driven improvements. Raghav's focus on compliance. Okay. Raghav persona is not relevant to us right now. So let's just go ahead and delete this persona, not relevant to my product or user. Okay. Uh, Not delete here today, so let it be. And this is also relevant to Raghav, so let's just go ahead and delete not relevant to my product, I guess. Okay, perfect. Neha's desire for sense of community highlights the potential for the app to foster social connection among users, enhancing trust and satisfaction in peer-to-peer rental experience. That's a very good point to build a community around rental, so that whoever you are renting your own car to, you should have trust within those users. That's a fair point. And now, say if you have more insights, you can click on plus and add your insights from here. Okay. Let's go to features. View live trip cost. Users can instantly see full cost breakdown that updates in real time as they select cars and add-ons. This feature eliminates pricing ambiguity by providing dynamic, transparent receipt before booking. Okay, so this feature comes from this particular underlying insight, and here are some design specs that are listed along with this particular feature. For example, the trigger is persistent bottom bar component showing total cost. So whenever you select a vehicle, there's a bottom bar which shows the total cost for renting that vehicle. Feedback should be price text subtly animates on change. So if you do an add-on or something, the price text should animate. A small price locked shield icon appears on the confirmation. So that's a delight. So basically, there is no price variation while you are into the booking process. This improves the confidence for the user. Error loading skeletal loader for car options unable to fetch. Okay, accessibility high contrast text for pricing screen data announces update total cost. Okay, the second feature is start AI assistant damage check. Car owners can document their vehicle's condition with a guided photo series before and after each rental. The system uses AI to compare images and automatically flag potential new damages. This is a beautiful feature using AI which flags damages so that it's very transparent and not human driven. So this is a good feature. I like it. So I'll start mark this. Uh, Scan your documentation documents in one time. User can instantly capture and upload driver's license, which is must required, and other required document using their phone's camera. The feature uses OCR to autofill verification form, drastically reducing manual entry. Okay, this is a good feature again. Get predictive availability alerts. User can set preference for car types and budget to receive proactive notification about vehicles availability. So this is about notification. I had not thought of this point at all while thinking of the idea in first place, and how proactive notification can help build user trust and bring them back to your app frequently. So yeah, this is like an attractive feature, but yeah, it's a really good feature to have here. See verified host and renter profiles. Yeah, user can view detailed profile of both car owner and mutual ratings. This feature builds confidence by showcasing reliability metrics, on-time returner, pristine car host. Okay, so this gives like verification badges of some sort to the user, which improves confidence in both renters and the owners. Okay. Follow your smart trip checklist. User receive dynamic contextual checklist after booking to guide them through pre-trip and post-trip action. The feature ensures both renters and owners complete necessary step for. Okay, that's good. Vehicle check vehicle health dashboard. Renter can view a standardized dashboard for each car showing key quality indicator uploaded by the owner. So this is onus on owner to keep this updated, or maybe that AI feature we saw at the start can the data can be brought back into this particular feature to basically check the vehicle health and show it to the renters. This include recent service date, tire condition, and cleanliness rating provided. peace of mind about vehicle safety. This is good. Explore demand and pricing calendar. User can view color coded calendar. Okay, this is good. Join an owner circle group. Verified car owners can join private city specific community group to share tips and best practices. This foster a supportive network, enhancing owner engagement and trust. Okay, this is good. Vote on the feature roadmap. Okay, what is this? User can vote on proposed new feature and submit their own ideas for the app. The feedback mechanism. Okay, this is basically a feedback mechanism for app. Maybe feedback to ensure platform evolves on based on community needs aligning. Okay, this is good. It's not must have for me. This is an attractive feature, so we're good with that. And finally, task flows to find a suitable nearby car for a weekend trip and book it seamlessly. Launch app and set trip details. Browse available car. View car details. Receive booking confirmation. Complete payment. Proceed to checkout. Okay, I want to add this as three screens. I'm not sure if this gets reflected because we are still work in progress on this. So we'll be evolving palette as we go ahead, right? So this talks about, say, browse available car. The map updates to show pins for available car. The user can pan, zoom the map, or switch. Okay, then they go to view car detail. They go to proceed to checkout, complete payment, and receive booking confirmation. Okay, so basically this is a set of steps that a user has to go to complete a task. So that's particularly task flow, right? And this show owner average response time during view car details. Then when user are browsing for available car, this could have quick filter for budget and transmission. Hmm, interesting. I don't know what that means, but okay. Then next is to to quickly verify my identity and driver documents so that I can rent a car. Start, sign up and create profile, initiate document verification, and again add this as B script. Connect and authorize to DigiLocker. Wow. So DigiLocker is like a government app in India that stores all your documents, like driving license, your car related documentations, your service documentation, etc. And it says that it can verify all this documentation using that central DigiLocker app, which is like a good feature to have. Uh, then the third task flow is to list my car on the platform to start earning extra money. So this is for the owner. Switch to owner mode and start listing. Okay. Let's do this. I'm not sure task flow 3 comes up. I think we have set for task flows 1 and 2 to appear in the UIs. Enter card details, upload card photos and documents, set availability calendar, define pricing and drill. Okay, perfect. So let's go back to overview page and mark step 1 as done. Uh, I have marked important information as favorites. I have not marked my persona. That's right. This is not important. This is just for your, say, if you want to focus on certain aspect of what you are trying to build. This star is just for your reference that you want to prioritize certain things over another, and maybe you want to document it and remember it when you come back to palette the next time to review whatever progress you had made in your previous session. Streamline documentation ratings, assurance of vehicle quality, building, and let's keep at that. Then, okay. So, mark important information as important information as favorite across artifacts. I've done that. Okay, next is talk to user features to learn more about your user persona. Okay, so talk to user feature. So I don't have access to my users right now, right? So even before I go and conduct interview with my real users, I can get a head start and do interviews with my synthetic users, which is AI generated personas. So let's say let's do an interview with car owner and let's talk with Neha Verma. So it says, hello, I'm Neha. I'm a marketing manager from Bangalore. Think of me as your target user brought to life. Navigate back and edit my persona based on user signals so I represent your real users more accurately. Okay, so basically This is saying that you can go back, edit whatever things you want, basically in the personality or anything in the user, and that would reflect in that persona. So everything that you edit in your persona, it gets automatically reflected within how the persona would talk to you and how you can conduct interview with that persona. So go ahead, edit the goals, pain points, whatever you want within the persona to reflect closely with your real users. So say if you go tomorrow and conduct user interviews with your live user and have some inputs from that, you can take those inputs into your user personas, update them, and then conduct interviews again. So basically, you don't have to go back to your real life users, and as you update those personas, this eventually starts getting closer and closer to how your real users would respond in the real scenarios. Ask me anything from my daily habits to what I choose, why I choose your product. What's the first thing you're curious about? Okay, let's say, what should we ask? Hey Neha, how are you doing? Why do you want to rent your car to stranger? What are your top three concerns? Okay. Okay, just give me a moment. Let me get into an interview mode. Okay. So what is happening in the background is basically AI is getting inference from all the edits that you had made in the personas, and it understands that personas and takes your question into account and replies based on all the inferences that are existing in your user personas, basically, right? So it takes a moment to gather those inferences at the start, and once those inferences are within the context, then you can naturally talk to the users as you go. So in that time the responses are much faster, as we would see in this demo ahead. Okay. Okay, I'm doing well, thank you. Honestly, the main reason I'm considering this is to make some extra income. My car just sits in the parking lot most weekend and even some, most weekdays and even some weekends when I travel for work. It feels like a wasted asset. So if I can make it earn a bit, why not? But I do have my reservation. My top three concerns would be car safety and damage. I think me as a car owner, my first concern is car safety and damage, which is clearly mentioned by Neha here. What if the renter is reckless and damages my car? I need to be absolutely clear on the insurance process and who bears the cost. It's my biggest worry. Renter trustworthiness. I'm not comfortable handing over my car keys to just anyone. I would need to know that person renting has been properly verified and maybe see their past reviews from other car owners. The overall hassle. I have a demanding job and family, so I can't afford to spend a lot of time on complicated paperwork or coordinating difficult pickups and drop off times. The process need to be simple, secure, and not eat into my personal time. Okay, let's let's see. If we want, we can like go back, refer to our interview questionnaires here. Car owner. Okay, what was the last situation set? Lend a car and what influenced your decision? Okay, let's go. Let's see. What was the last situation where you decided to lend your car and what influenced your decision? That's the question we asked to Neha. Let's see what the response is. Mm. So you can easily copy anything that you learned from here and paste it in your notes easily, right? So coordinating, say, difficult pickup and drop off times is important. So let's go back to overview page. Notes and let's okay. That was a good question. I haven't used an app for this before, so my experience is more informal. Okay, I think it aligns with my personal experience as well. The last time I lent my car was few months ago to a former colleague. Same again. He and his family were in Bangalore for a wedding and needed a car for a couple of days to go around. My car was just going to be sitting idle that weekend. What really influenced my decision was the trust factor. I knew him professionally. I knew he was a responsible. He was responsible, and it wasn't transaction with a complete stranger. It felt safe. We handled it with simple phone call, and he came over to pick up the keys. Because there was that pre-existing relationship, I didn't worry so much about potential damage or him misusing the car. The idea of doing this with someone I have never met is where my hesitation comes from, right? So that's fair, and as we can see, this clearly relates to the persona of a car owner, and it relates personally to my experience. I live in Bangalore, and when last time I have lended my car has been to a friend, a family. So yeah, so you can go ahead and ask more questions to this users. Okay, what could make process of lending cars smoother for you? How do you want to manage handing over the keys to renter? Yeah, so I also think that if renter is going to come at an odd time where I'm not available, how would that exchange of key should happen? So let's see what the answer comes from the user. Usually, what I would do personally is ask a neighbor to keep the key, and if someone comes in, give them. So let's see. To make the process smoother, I'd want everything to be like a guided checklist within the. I don't want to deal with any physical paperwork before the renter arrives. Okay, that's fair. That should prompt me to take few photos of my car's condition and should show me that the renter's document has been 100% verified. As far as for the key handover, that's a critical step. I'm a busy person, so I can't have someone showing up at random time. Same thing that I mentioned. I would want to set specific narrow time windows when I'm available. For instance, between 8 to 8:30 a.m. before I leave for work. The renter would have to book one of those slots. For the actual action, I prefer not to have them come right to my door for privacy reason. Meeting at security gate of my apartment complex would be ideal. The most important thing would be for the app to have a feature where both of us have to confirm the handover in real time. Maybe we scan QR code on each other's phone to or enter a code. It need to be clear, digital recorded moment that the keys have been exchanged. This is good. QR code. Maybe scan QR code. Okay. Let's copy this and let's add this as a feature somewhere. Scan QR code on each other's phone or enter a code. This is a must-have. Uh, Renters, let's add more details for our reference. Renters and owners should have QR/code in their respective apps to confirm key exchange to the right person. Uh, Maybe it is similar to the OTP in Uber. Yeah, let's keep it for this now. Let's because it's an important feature. Let's bring it somewhere at the top. Uh, okay, let's go back to the persona. Okay, so basically you can conduct more interviews with this persona, and as you can see, the responses are very close to how the real users would respond. So maybe if you are working in a team of two, three people who are building this particular product, you can share this entire file with your team, and everyone can come to this particular document that you are preparing, maybe as a product manager or as a designer, and everyone gets to talk to this user personas that you have been constantly editing, and ask questions and discover new aspects, new features, and gain advantage from what the user requirements are before even talking to your real users. So speed is the main aspect that palettes provide to you at this very early stage of your product building. Right? Okay. Once we are good, let's go and tick this. Identify real world use signals with interview questionnaires is something that you can do with the real world users. Update UX artifact with verified user insights. So we have added a feature here. So I'll just also we have changed some personality trait here for the user. So let's just tick this. Verify task flows and mark the key screens correctly. We have done that. Updated color palette and typography. Typography today we cannot update here. That's something that's pending from our side, and we'll bring that feature in the future. Okay. Once we are good with everything here, what we can do is basically, let's see, color palette is what we want. Okay. What we can do is basically click on continue to UI or this UI button right here. And it says you review UX before drafting UI. So UI works best when backed by clear user needs, goals, task flows. Let's review your UX first. So we have reviewed our UX to a good extent, and we are confident that we are ready to draft our first UI, right? So let's just click on generate UI. So from here, it takes about 5 to 7 minutes to generate rough UI. So strong point today of palette is basically getting a head start in your UX process before you jump onto UI. Currently, we are working hard to let palette build better UI screens. The UI screens are at a very early wireframing stage, which you as a designer or a product manager can bring into Figma or Miro to do your early mood boarding of sorts and discuss features within the team. So the idea behind Palette is basically it is a step before you jump onto building your UI, building your UI maybe with Figma traditionally as a designer, or using white coding app like Lovable, Emergent, Cursor, V0, etc. Right? So as we see, we have 4 tabs over here. First is design tab, which will basically generate UI drafts for us, and this will take 5 to 7 minutes. And it will generate key screens that we had marked in task flows earlier, and based on the context that we had updated within the UX. The second tab is basically UI specification. So it gives you a detailed UI specification prompt that you can directly copy from here and paste in all those UI generation tools. And then code, which you can basically download as HTML files and preview single screens quickly on your browser. And preview is something that is basically an interactive version of whatever the UI drafts are generated. This is not something that we have built yet because that is something that you can do by downloading the code HTML files and viewing it in the browser, right? Our focus is mainly currently on giving our users a head start in their UX design process, understanding your users, giving a little bit of thought before you jump onto building UI with Figma or your vibe coding tools. So let's give it 5 to 7 minutes and then come back again and see what the results are. Okay, so while the UI is getting generated, I want to give you a heads up that this may not be a polished UI, but it reflects what changes you have done in your UX earlier. And consider this as a very first draft that you can use to build your designs upon and do further research upon, right? So let's see and let's review what UI has been generated. So I think Currently, we are in desktop mode, so let's just switch to a mobile view and let's move some screens below since they are overlapping. Okay. As you notice that we had selected orange as our primary color and which is truly reflected in the UI as well. So first thing is homepage where user can search destination, start date, end date and find cars. And this is the map view placeholder to basically show the cars in your locality. Once you do that, you can go to this page which shows listing for different cars. And when you click on that car, it shows vehicle health, specification for that car, and you can book the car now. Once you click on book now, you go to review summary, review booking. So you have selected Maruti Suzuki Swift Desire. Let's just move here. Let's move this here so that we have continuity. Okay. You have selected book now, and now you go to the booking summary, and then once you click on proceed to payment, it also shows UPI because we have said that this is something that we are building for metro cities in India, so it clearly identifies that UPI is the primary mode of transaction for many users in India, and it keeps it at the top of the payment method. And once you do payment through UPI, it says your trip is confirmed and what are the next step that you have to do before you go to pick up your car, and shows the pickup location for the car as well. Okay, I think this is for the second task flow where user has to create an account, verify the identity, scan the documents with DigiLocker, simulate successful login, and then you can see the driving license number, Aadhaar card number for Ravi Kumar. And once you confirm in the details, it confirms that your verification is there. So all the steps comes before while you create account. And once you find a car, uh, once you click on find a car, it takes you to home page and you can explore. The other thing that we are working to bring in is basically having that third task flow. We are limiting to task flow 1 and 2 today, and the task flow 3 would be coming up very soon. So now, once you have these screens, what you can do. Okay, we have the screens. The next thing we have is UI specification. So UI specification is like a detailed prompt. You're an expert UI generation assistant. Your task is to visually render all these things, objective, prerequisite, generals. Then it talks about screen specification, home screen, key features, all these things. So basically, this is like a very detailed prompt which you can copy from here and like we go to say tools like V0 and just paste it here. Build me a product. Okay, what you can also do is basically go to UX, copy your prompt, use UI, and click enter. And yeah, all this UI generation vibe coding tools will start building uh, on top of what you have built with Palette. So basically, Palette comes before all these vibe coding tools. It helps you think clearly. Let's go back to Palette and see what else we have. The next thing as I mentioned, we have code over here. So from design tab, we have all the screens over here, which you can copy one tab. You can paste it in your Figma. You can you can start building your mood board here. So if you are a product manager who has come to Palette for the first time, and first time when you got the brief, you have the screens which you can use to form a flow to talk to your designers or talk to your leadership within the team and take very early decisions, right? So it's also useful for say design agencies who got brief from their clients and they want to have a quick understanding of the requirement from clients, so that once you have that understanding, you work with your client to fix all the UX artifacts with the client, so that there is less back and forth, and the scope creep does not happen within your work, right? The next is code. So let's try downloading home. Let's try downloading search result. Let's try downloading car details. See what happens. Booking summary, payment, booking confirmation. All right, let's go to demo for cars, and let's see. It opens up here, and you can click on find cars. It's very much interactive. You have selected a vehicle. It shows you rating. It shows you owner details, and you can click on book now. It's proceed payments, UPI, credit card, whatever you want to do, you can do it here. Select total amount is here, and it says your trip is booked. So basically, you can have an interactive version by downloading the code right away from Palette, and this is what we are. This particular feature is something that we're trying to build or bring within Palette, but I think there's a workaround, so we have not prioritized for now. Uh, so yeah, that's most about the palette. So this is demo one. I am continuing to build this in V0, and let's see what the output with V0 is. So within 1 hour, we were able to identify uh, so much of new information with respect to what product we are trying to build, which we would otherwise would have skipped and just build the UI screens. Uh, but yeah, Palette helps you think before you start building. So it's a thinking partner for your UX UI discovery phase. And I'll come back to you with another demo next week, and we can work on new product next week. We can see how Palette has helped us build a better product right from scratch within very much achievable time, within with some thought process involved, so that we don't give all the tasks to AI, and there is a human in the loop that really thinks for the users that we as builders are designing for. So thank you so much for joining this demo. See you in the next one. Bye bye.